Good morning. It is Friday, January 7th, 2021. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel because Jesus is the gospel. This has been our first full week of Gospel for Five in 2021. So we're ending it in verse 13 here. But you were called to freedom, brothers and sisters. Called to be free in Christ. God doesn't accept you on the basis of your behavior. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh. Just because you're free, don't use that freedom as an opportunity to indulge your flesh. But through love, serve one another. So this is again, I know I'm reading all kinds of different, I guess you'd call them evangelical pundits, evangelical thought leaders, so to speak. And so many people are saying, everything's changed now after COVID, after the lockdowns. Everything's changed, and part of church is going to be online. I just read a guy this week was saying, we have to gather together. That's biblical, but doesn't say we have to be in person to do that. So we could gather online together and bleebity-blobbity-bloobity. New future, new kind of church. Do-do-do-do-do, theme song. I think that's, let me sound like a preacher that's old. Malarkey. That's malarkey. When the author of Hebrews writes, and I think in Hebrews chapter 11, do not forsake gathering together as is the habit of some. He's not projecting into the future about, connecting online. I said this last Sunday. Online does not connect people, really, in terms of relationships. Seeing people face to face, having actual relationship with people in person connects people. So how do you, through love, serve one another if you don't actually show up to develop relationships with people in a local body to actually do that? So explain to me how you can love one another online. Now, can you send encouraging messages and things like that? And I'm not saying an online presence isn't an important thing in these days, but it is I would say this to those of you who may have been, maybe you're watching this and you don't attend our church, or maybe you're watching this and, here's the thing. Are you attending any church? And by attending, I mean, to attend is to show up in person and see people face to face. And that's how these relationships develop. This may sound odd, but I used to go to Starbucks daily. Now, that's not the part that sounds odd. A lot of you going, well, we know that. And so, of course, after the lockdowns, Starbucks was my office, so you can't go to Starbucks anymore. So I stopped going to Starbucks in terms of using it as an office. And then I was going just through the drive-through to, get my daily Starbucks. And then I got off caffeine completely. And the drink I was drinking was chai tea, and they don't have decaffeinated chai tea at Starbucks. They have the same brand you can buy at Target, Tazo, I think that's how you pronounce it, T-A-Z-O, the Tazo brand of chai tea, which is what they use at Starbucks. But they sell the decaffeinated version at Target, so I started making my own. Now, this is what I found interesting. When I went to Starbucks physically, and I was there daily, so I got to know everyone. When I didn't go, I thought, wow, man, they're going to miss me. I felt guilty. Why? Because even though these people weren't my good, dear friends, there was still a relational connection because I saw them in person, physically, on a daily basis. We at least knew each other by name, Hi, Thor. Hi, Barista. It's funny how everyone there is named Barista. I don't get that. But anyway, there was a relational development. So when I only was going through the drive-thru and everyone was wearing masks and they didn't recognize me sometimes, I didn't recognize, and then there were new people, the connection was severed. And, I can report now, I don't feel guilty if I don't go to Starbucks anymore, which is a silly thing to say, but I mean that facetiously. But all that to illustrate the point, how do you, through love, serve one another if you can't see the people and you're not connecting with them physically? Well, as human beings, I don't think we're designed that way. In other words, I don't think we can do it strictly online alone. I think online is a very lonely way to connect to people. All right, what's God said to you today?